The 7 fairy maidens, finally released from Wukong's immobilizing spell, hurried back to the Queen Mother of the West. Trembling, they describe how the great sage had ambushed them in the peach orchard, demanding to know who was invited to the banquet. He had frozen them in place with a single spell and vanished. Of the great peaches, not a single one remained. Only 2 baskets of small peaches and 3 of medium survived. The Queen Mother listened in stunned disbelief, then went immediately to the Jade Emperor and laid out the entire catastrophe. Before she could even finish speaking, a delegation of celestial winemakers arrived with their own grim report. Someone had broken into the peach banquet hall itself, stolen the jade nectar and divine liquors, and devoured every last delicacy prepared for the grandest feast in all the heavens. Then 4 great heavenly masters announced the arrival of Taishang Lao Jun, the supreme lord of the way. The Jade Emperor and the Queen Mother rose to greet him. After formal courtesies, Lao Jun spoke with uncharacteristic urgency. He had refined a precious batch of 9-turn golden elixir in his palace, preparing for the Emperor's elixir festival. But a thief had broken in and stolen every single pill. The Jade Emperor received this news with mounting dread, his imperial composure cracking. Shortly after, a celestial clerk from the Equal to Heaven mansion arrived, kneeling low. He reported that the great sage had abandoned his duties entirely, leaving the mansion the day before and never returning. No one had any idea where he had gone. The Jade Emperor's suspicion now hardened into certainty. The monkey was behind everything. Then the barefoot immortal stepped forward and bowed deeply. By the Queen Mother's decree, I was on my way to the banquet when I encountered the great sage on the road. He told me Your Majesty had issued an imperial order for him to invite us all to the Hall of Universal Brightness for a rehearsal of ceremony before the feast. I followed his words and went, but found no imperial carriages there. I hurried back to wait. The Jade Emperor's shock boiled over into volcanic fury. That wretch forged imperial decrees to deceive you, my worthy lord, he roared. He immediately dispatched the Inspector Spirit Officer to track down the monkey's trail across every corner of the heavens. The officer departed the palace and conducted a relentless investigation, uncovering the full and staggering scope of Wukong's crimes before returning to kneel before the throne. The one who has thrown the heavenly palace into chaos is none other than the great sage Equal to Heaven, the inspector reported, recounting every detail. The stolen peaches, the ruined banquet, the stolen elixir, the forged decree, the deceived immortals. The Jade Emperor's rage erupted with terrible finality. He would no longer tolerate this monkey's defiance. The time for patience had ended. The time for war had come. The Jade Emperor issued his decree with iron authority. He dispatched the 4 great heavenly kings to serve alongside Heavenly King Li Jing and Prince Neza. They were to mobilize the 28 constellations, the 9 stellar luminaries, the 12 temporal spirits, the 5 direction guardians, and every warrior force across the heavens. 100,000 celestial soldiers would form 18 layers of divine nets and descend upon Flower Fruit Mountain. The heavenly host departed the celestial palace in overwhelming force. Yellow winds rolled across the sky, darkening the heavens above. Purple mist shrouded the mortal earth below. Because one reckless monkey had defied the supreme emperor, the greatest assembly of divine warriors in history now marched upon the mortal realm. The 4 heavenly kings commanded the overall strategy, while the 5 direction guardians coordinated the vast multitudes of celestial troops. Heavenly King Li Jing held the center of the formation, directing the march with absolute military precision. Fierce Prince Neza led the vanguard as the first charging warrior. The Rahu Star served as chief inspector of the ranks, with the Ketu Star close behind in a fearsome formation. The lunar and solar luminaries blazed with determination. The 5 planetary spirits were all heroic warriors, and the 9 stellar luminaries hungered for battle more than any others. The temporal spirits stood mighty at every quarter, each one a tremendously powerful heavenly soldier. The 5 plagues and the 5 sacred mountains arranged themselves to the east and west. The 6 Ding and 6 Jia spirits marched in formation on the left and right. The 4 river dragon gods divided their forces above and below, and the 28 constellations formed layer upon impenetrable layer of celestial ranks surrounding the entire mountain. The camp was established. Flower Fruit Mountain was sealed so tightly that not even a drop of water could pass through. 18 layers of celestial nets covered the sky above and the earth below. Heavenly Kingly dispatched the 9 stellar luminaries as the first assault wave. They marched to the cave entrance, where young monkeys were leaping and playing outside, utterly oblivious to the storm that was about to descend upon them. The star officers raised their voices like thunder. "Little demons, where's your great sage? We are divine warriors sent from the upper heavens to subdue this rebel. Tell him to surrender immediately. If he dares utter even half a word of refusal, every last one of you will be executed without mercy." The little demons scrambled frantically into the cave, screaming in panic, "Great sage! Disaster! There are 9 fierce gods outside, demanding your surrender." Inside the cave, Wukong was drinking celestial wine with his 72 demon kings and 4 mighty generals, completely unconcerned by the chaos brewing outside. When he heard the report, he simply laughed and waved his hand dismissively. If there is wine today, get drunk today. Why worry about what happens at the door? He raised his cup and drank deeply, as if the greatest army in heaven were merely a passing annoyance. More little demons rushed in, reporting that the 9 fierce gods were at the entrance, shouting insults and demanding battle. Wukong grinned and waved them off again. "Ignore them. Let us enjoy our wine and poetry today, and never mind when glory comes." But before he could finish speaking, another wave of panicked monkeys burst in, screaming, "Great sage! Those 9 fierce gods have smashed through the gates and are killing their way inside." Wukong slammed down his cup, his golden fiery eyes blazing with fury. "These petty gods have no manners whatsoever. I was willing to let them be, but they dare come to my door and insult me." He ordered the one-horned demon king to lead the 72 demon kings into battle. "I will bring up the rear